you kind of hit on there was the mobility for Corki. Okay. You're facing the Bard and the Maokai, so definitely want that extra dash.
Final pick will be that Rek'Sai locked in instantly by Broken Blade. Not going to be delayed.
Tries to start that one off, but it's been a very timid start for both junglers.
Really
nice knockback.
Yeah, Quad finding the angle, the double pulverize, but there's not very many people here to follow up outside of just Quad himself. So it is just going to be Caps taking a fair bit of damage and then slinking away.
Yeah, looks like FlyQuest at least going to start up these grubs. Labrav and Skumon want to head over. Caps actually had to go get Honey Fruit though, so Caps is going to be a bit delayed getting to the grub fight, and you see Victor trying to clean up those minions by mid-tower, so that gives enough time there, enough priority for FlyQuest to grab at least the 2. They want the final grub for the Might.
Yep, they should be able to get it here as well, as in they go. Magical Journey does get that one.
That's a good request.
That is a stat that I hope we don't beat in this game.
I'm thinking it makes it more interesting if there's no kills for the entire... that's fine. I'm sure it's about the same size as the Quad. Never mind. Quad, let's see where the gravity field is going to work. The Arcane Storm doing a fair bit at the same time, but the Seismic Shove also lands. Death Ray comes in, the flash, and First Blood is a Cap solo kill that's immediately answered here as Busio pushes him back underneath the turret, but
he might need it.
Yeah, he is ghosting, so that's going to move him pretty quickly, but does just get into position here. Twisted Advance does come on down, but it's Skumon that does get pulverized. Another brilliant flick from Quad to pull Skumon back, and in the meantime, Caps, oh, that flash is gone, and Inspired will take him out because of it. Now Quad looking for that angle once again, and they have corralled them underneath this turret, but it looks like FlyQuest, they're just happy to get that one pick and then set themselves up elsewhere. They'll have inside track with mid lane, for example.
Yeah, we got an instant answer on our question. Is the Flash going to get punished? Yes, it is. Inspired immediately jumping on that, punishing that cooldown here for Flash, getting the kill. Wukong with Trinity Force, Vedius. It's the exact right time to go looking for a Victor wandering through the jungle. And
he doesn't see them because they're stood still.
Oh, the Flash Pulverize going to come on through. Another headbutt back here. Even the Valkyrie damage is helping out. Trample going to come on through, but he does have part of that network set. And the flash forward does need to come in, but it's not enough. The little bullet from the Corki couldn't do it. And out goes BB once again.
Rek'Sai so obnoxious to lock down as Labrav throws the ultimate mids.
Yeah, Tempered Fate comes on down there as Hansama gets on in. Didn't quite have the snap trap, but he just flashes over the Seismic Shove and will be able to get the last hit onto Quad.
Hey, over Masu.
And last time, Vedius, I was like, oh yeah, you know, Quad, he just took his death and it was good, you know, because Caps flashed and Quad didn't. But that one, well, wait a second.
Yeah, got a bit of a flash forward here from Whippo, who's going all out onto Caps, has Inspired alongside him, and down goes the Victor.
Tools to get through what already feels like a very tanky Cassante, even though it's G2 that's first to this objective.
Trinity Forces are pretty good, aren't they? When they're built.
Dragon stacked up by G2, but again, the top side objectives, the Grubs and the Rift Herald, are the ones that turn into early
minions. No real defense here by G2 going to get set up, and there she blows.
Tower achieved, as you say, the feat.
There's 5 kills all up, but it's a lot of posturing as Labrav able to walk out of the way of the wall. Seismic Shove does go wide as Hansama not quite able to get the net for the slow, but otherwise is able to get out of dodge. Still, Summoner Spell's now on cooldown, and that flash being down for the Caitlyn is a big deal as Labrav in the back of this pit just get flicked back, and I thought he was just going to Magical Journey out. Much control of this area. Nature's Grasp for holding on to control as well is so incredibly good. Hex Flash going to get channeled here as Busio looking for an angle towards Caps, perhaps, as he gets taken down so incredibly low. Unbreakable Will comes in, and now you've got Whippo trying to make the difference, but Tempered Fate to hold them in position. Hansama in so much trouble, and he does get taken down. Inspired to grab First Blood in the fight. Busio is going to be the answering kill, and Broken Blade takes down Busio as well. It's FlyQuest that can actually answer back as Caps trying to do some of the damage, but doesn't quite manage to do. And 2 items have now been completed as the Leandries is now done as well. They'll grab themselves another
aggressive with all these Seismic Shove chunks, has opened up a lot of like small opportunities for FlyQuest so far.
This health bar, as you can see, Whippo just trying to stand in front of them.
He's
to keep them out of this one, as my goodness, he's so incredibly tanky at the same time. Is G2 going to have to deal with him first? The wall goes down just to try and keep him alive. There's a Pulverize as well as Broken Blade gets himself out of there. Now the Nature's Grasp does fly past, but the Otacon will just turn its sights onto G2 this time, down to about 4K as FlyQuest possibly out of this. There's a flash forward from Busio, but I don't know about it. The flick back, though, is gorgeous, and Skumon put in position, but unable to get the smite. That one's going to go to Inspired. As the gravity field goes down, the Arcane Storm doing nothing. Master going to take down Caps, who cannot get it done.
I gotta be honest, Vedius, it's looking a lot like MSI to me.
I mean, right now, yeah, we haven't really seen any.
I'm looking at this game, I'm feeling like Inspired's been pretty loud. 3-0-2 currently on the Wukong, as Bwipo just constantly keeping G2 at bay, standing in front of this Caitlyn. So a bit more time for G2 maybe.
So frontline-wise, I just think that Bwipo is a lot scarier than what Broken Blade brings. You should start winning out on these trades against Bwipo, though, as you can start to see.
Getting a bit aggressive, doesn't land that Q3. Skumon is taking his time with this blue buff. Does look like Bwipo isn't too worried about it, though. Man, it's such a wet noodle fight, isn't it?
They are
between
farming
these two?
the damage stat right
now. Yeah, this is just, it's just grass.
Let's pump those numbers up.
Yeah. To Busio, but now the Unbreakable Will is worn off. Is this just going to be soul point over to G2?
Yeah, I think they get it. You know, FlyQuest, basically Busio's out of the fight now. An Alistar low health with no ultimate doesn't get to do much at all. They just call it off. Yeah, FlyQuest, after they see that, they call off the play.
Obviously, like, the fights are going to be a lot scarier for them. They need to leverage the advantage that they have right now.
Well, this could be certainly leveraged as Caps walks a little bit too far away from his turret and will just be taken out. FlyQuest, they kept the Baron leashed. All of this vision getting taken away over and over again. And this Baron down to 4,000. Do they opt in for it? Because Skumon can't get over the wall. It's going to be impossible for them to stop this, and the Baron will be taken by this game to go for about 70 minutes if possible.
For G2's credit, it is hard to push on these Caitlyn trap lines, but never mind.
Flash is going forward here as the wall comes down, and Hansama just blows up. The inner turret is going to go down, and Skumon is running the wrong direction. Bit of a jungle v jungle here as he gets the Teemo thumbs up. I don't think Skumon's going to feel okay about it. Nimbus Strike comes forward. Inspired finishes him off, and I think this is the end of the game as FlyQuest will slowly but surely, methodically tear G2 apart here in game one. Busio going forward one more time. The Tempered Fate comes down for a bit of fun as the Nexus turrets, one already down, the second one to follow. Masu right in their face. The Arcane Storm not doing too much of anything. And the Nexus will now go down. Trading places here is Masu and Broken Blade, but down goes the Nexus. And it's FlyQuest up 1-0.
Can have some good space. I kind of like it for the team.
Well, the Xayah is the most obvious thing ever, so that is just going to be locked in here to round out the G2 composition, but it certainly feels like G2 got exactly what they wanted, and this
He looks to steal away this blue buff, but already off to a strong start from FlyQuest as they have control over bot mid.
That FlyQuest get full control of these grubs, but Skumon comes on around. Busio is going to face check, but once again, getting a bit of a speed up, and it looks like he's able to make his way back towards Inspired. Teleport comes in as Caps, making his way towards the fight, and the grubs are going to reset.
And Galio is making the roam I was talking about. He's about to mid lane now, so he is within ult range. FlyQuest have to evacuate.
They are going to be able to get themselves out of there. Busio was, I mean, he's so incredibly squishy, right? So if anyone on G2 gets their hands on him, this Soraka is going to go down, as the grubs will go G2's way, and a trade of objectives here to start this one off.
Genuinely impressed that G2 got away with that, because
we had a lot of failures with this champion, but we have had a lot of successes.
Yon was another one I remember.
Well. Yeah.
Tibbers playing some defense here for Quad. Meanwhile, towards the top side of the map, some aggression as Master going down very low. Battle Busio here.
Drakes are going to be equalized. G2 with a slight advantage in that department. But again, the gold really going the way of FlyQuest pretty much everywhere around the map.
Yeah, you don't get to opt into all the fights, though. Sometimes the fights come to you.
Oh, this happening as Labrov makes his way over. They're looking for the dive. Knockup does come on through as Busio gets the wish out, but there is first blood going over to the Trundle here at 13 minutes. Here in mid lane for now. Looks like Fly do want to fight for it, but Bwipo's also in trouble. Equalizer goes down, flashes away, and just gets chomped down by Skumon. That's 2-0.
Then he makes a gank on top side and a repeat gank as well.
Yeah, makes another gank towards this top side. Good flash out there as the wish comes through as well, but it's not going to work. It's 3-0 in the kills as G2 lock down those feats of warfare, and FlyQuest, they need to do something about this troll.
Yeah, the troll is controlling the game. Where the troll goes, G2 wins. And now there is a teleport back out for Bwipo. He has been able to wait out his death timer. And so that's going to put a little bit of...
They're forced to concede it. Now, does it mean a huge amount? Not necessarily, because Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, and I imagine that's G2's bigger prize. But yeah, now they don't have that TP available for Caps, and he's still on the top side of the map.
Well, Rift Herald is just immediately going to be put down here in this mid lane. That could be first turret. Going on over
Pillar,
to FlyQuest.
pillar.
Yeah, let's see whether it is going to come through, and there it is. Skewmon able to lock that one down as we have the ulti from Caps towards the top side. Whippo in trouble, but he's just kept alive by the ambulance. And now Quad, an awkward position for him as well, as Caps finds some damage there. Into the backline goes Broken Blade. They're kind of taking it in turns to annoy FlyQuest, and it's working very nicely as G2 keeping these health bars pretty up there. And FlyQuest starting to look a little worse for wear. Caps taking some damage. The Witch comes down yet again. The Equalizer not quite doing that much as Inspired goes in. Looking for LeBron, but he gets himself out. The Crescent Guard comes through as well as Broken Blade comes down from the heavens. Inspired's just looking unkillable on this Xin Zhao, but G2 just
alive, keeps Lebrov alive.
Lebrov, his heal on the Q,
dear.
and now Masu's in danger.
Yeah. There is the Galio in there as well, as Masu does get that flash off. Winds of War not quite doing too much. Soraka, because you're really good into burst that doesn't kill you. But as soon as the burst kills you, Soraka is useless.
Suddenly, she loses value.
Yes. So as no value at all.
Yeah. My main thing is that FlyQuest, well, hold on a second.
Yeah, Skewmon once again making his presence known as in goes Inspired. He is difficult to kill, as we do have a lot of damage coming down. Caps finding the angle for the ulti, but look at this! This Soraka is ludicrous, making sure that he throws band-aids to everyone, and they are all just gonna be okay. FlyQuest now moving on towards this Otacon as Lebrov eating some honey fruit, but it looks like they'll be able to use these lower health bars to push them away, and now Whippo is just burning him down. Might be a little bit of a bridge too far, but it doesn't actually happen. Equalizer is confusing, and I'll leave it at that. But the Otacon down to 50%. Broken Blade teleports in, but isn't going to be able to do too much more because the map is dark and full of terrors and bananas.
Yeah, the Whippo Rumble is not looking the best, but his teleport down to the bottom side does mean that they're full committing to Otacon, and they do get the Otacon. G2 make them pay for it, though.
I mean,
but it does feel like FlyQuest got the better of that last moment and do get the Otacon for it as we have another engage to come through. G2 may have found Inspired yet again, but this is how the last fight started. Quad comes on over and just drops a bear on them. The Galio will be the answer. The knock-up, he's still alive, but Skewmon will finally get the chomp. And down goes the Xin Zhao eventually. Man, that took everything to make that happen. But now G2 with some control on this map, and you've got FlyQuest down to jungler.
All of this division from G2 in the blue quadrant of the jungle. We even saw before the play took off, there were FlyQuest question mark pings there. They did kind of expect...
Oh, Skewmon is just going to get flashed on here, tries to flash the wall, misses. And now you've got the Feather Storm needing to be employed. Another cheeky Equalizer to come down, but Whippo not going to be able to follow up on that one. And so the answer does come through, and finally FlyQuest are on the board.
Tracking what he's been doing throughout the game, but he now has a full level over Quad. And, I mean, at the very least, Whippo being able to secure this, if they find that initial pick, then it could be very good for them.
No flash on Whippo.
This might be that initial pick that you were talking about. Outer turret is going to be taken here. Bottom lane to follow suit immediately. The rest of FlyQuest moving on over. This is Soul Point, remember, guys. This is not something that FlyQuest really feel comfortable giving up, but they're not going to be able to move in here into the Fog of War to try and deny it. So they're going to have to try and get this middle outer turret instead. Baron just spawning now. FlyQuest moving towards this top side with that mid outer turret falling.
Result in this Trundle being really hard to take down now. And Trundle kind of thrives in these scrappy fights.
Well, he's going to have to try and book it over here. It is Broken Blade with a lot of CC, keeping Whippo busy. Equalizer goes down. The Wish comes in, but he just dies before FlyQuest could get in there. Still, they're going to look for the fight, though. Crescent Guard comes down. Lebrov just explodes in an instant as the taunt is fantastic. The flash out from Inspire, but he still dies. Not enough in the tank here for Busio. And G2 finding the advantage.
Contest this still. Masu in the area. Let's see what Pokey can get down.
It is a pretty early Baron, but it's going down very, very quickly. A teleport is available here as soon as this Rumble does spawn, and he's teleporting in now, but the Baron is going to go down. Quad immediately explodes as Bwipo cannot get anything done. Flash over the wall there from Busio as Bwipo decides he wants to go aggressive. I'm not sure about that one, but Masu tries to get the kill on Skumon, and it doesn't quite work. All of these Barons still up and available, and the Justice Punch to bring Broken Blade forward. He will find his mark as Busio's still alive and getting this healing down, but the problem is they're not doing enough damage to G2, and they're just going to back up. The culling is working as intended, but unfortunately, it's just a little too late.
The Soraka healing is just
They got Baron buff, they got a bunch of extra kills off it too.
Okay, well, we're looking for a bit more of a fight here as the heroic entrance comes down. Quad takes a large chunk. FlyQuest still in it though, as we can see. Masu is going so aggressive. I don't know whether it's a good idea, as there is the ulti out from Caps to get so much AoE damage, but Masu still alive. The ambulance is working, but Skumon finally gets the jump down. And there goes the AD carry. G2 are a freight train. They'll break the inner turret and they'll probably get more because they've got Baron, and they're looking at a game number 3.
G2 will finally get a bit of revenge against FlyQuest as they finally get a big... Wow, I suppose they'll get a big inhibitor.
They do get a big inhibitor push. It's still good.
It certainly is. Game 2, Steve.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's his name going to be in Game 3?
It's Game 3 Gary, and I hope you guys are ready.
If I knew it was Game 3 Gary before, I'd be so G2 biased in this game. Oh my god, I'm really glad you saved that until now, as the priceless moment of the game does come on through. Infernal Soul for G2. A Rebel Baron power play putting them at about 8.7k in the lead. And FlyQuest trying to get back out onto the map. You can see Inspired just wanting to keep this fight going, but Between Worlds comes out from Caps, and he's now on a rampage against Quad. And Masu feels like he just came out of the death chamber, but immediately they're looking to try and put him back in there as this siege, Baron or no Baron, G2 will be able to take down another inhibitor turret. And with Infernal Soul, I think they'll have the damage to burst down FlyQuest now. The culling comes through, but Skumon says what? As he just takes most of it. Equalizer in as well as they look for Bwipo, but he does go gold and the quickness comes on through. The charm is fantastic. They try and keep him alive, but it does not work. It's a bit of a trade though, as this Rakan is going to be taken down, but man, these wallets, they are so heavy from G2. First Nexus turret to be taken down. Masu going to be next to be taken on this fountain, and G2 showing them that even though they did get swept at MSI, Hero World's going to be in the jungle unless we're flexing to Jack's jungle, which is likely not going to be happening. Labrov to lock that one in. And so BB with a Jax towards the Renekton. The matchup, obviously something that Jaxes do like because you can nullify.
Look for a wraparound because there's no vision on the bot side, so Broken Blade in a lot of danger.
Yeah, looking a little bit dicey here as the counter-strike comes in. The Flash W is going to connect as the Grandmaster's might is not mighty enough, and First Blood goes over to Bwipo on this.
After Broken Blade loses all that farm as well. Just beautifully done from FlyQuest as they've now already built up, but the Varus is nowhere near. I mean, Skumon's happy with one. He doesn't have to overcommit to anything else. They've denied the 3 grubs, and so small advantage that G2 will be happy with.
And that is going to be both of them picked up soon, but they know the timer, and it looks like G2 are just going to be able to burn this one down. So evening up the Dragons, grabbing themselves there.
So that's kind of dangerous. Caps on Orianna is still pre-first item breakpoint because you have to start out for the tier as well. And so you're facing this Nashor's Azir in the side lane, and that's just, it's so problematic. Broken Blade, meanwhile, as you can see on screen, they're going for the 2v1.
Yeah, Bwipo, this is going to be a difficult one to deal with, especially with the Brov turning up. That flash, not going to help, and Bwipo is going to be the first briefcase. As we've got a bit of a problem for Caps as the depth charge comes through, Flash comes down, but the answering anchor is fantastic. Busio will be traded though, gorgeously played by Caps to make sure it's a one. Skumon's health bar is starting to look very, very large, as we can see. Inspired in the area though, Glacial Prison in hand. So we have a look at the comparison here between our top laners. Speaking of top laners, it's going to be Quad playing defensively here, getting rid of Broken Blade yet again, means Emperor's Divide is going to be off cooldown for any potential fights, as he just leaps back in once more. This is a little dicey. There's the counter-strike to come on through. Decent stun coming on in there as Broken Blade does at least get the flash out from Quad, and he makes it to the safety of his turret.
I do feel like Trinity Force on Jax is kind of the point at which Jax really starts to feel confident on a side lane, and that's what we're starting to see. Quad now has to be a lot more respectful as the Rift Herald is started off by G2.
Exactly. It took him a while to get there, but he did, in fact, get there.
Yep, teleport is available here from Broken Blade, so it can be a 5v5. As there's the anchor connecting. Glacial Prison goes down as well. Decent chain CC as the Shockwave is decent as well. It's massive damage, but it's G2 coming out on top as both the
And Hans Sama just melts through that double front line there.
Oh dear, Caps might be in a little bit of trouble as the curtains have been called. The last shot comes through and Masu will be able to nail it, evening out the kills. Still, that last play putting G2 back into touching distance once more.
I mean, FlyQuest don't waste any time. They get back out on the map, they find a big pick, and now Skewmon sets his sights on bot.
Yeah, Quad actually greeting a little bit to make sure that he gets this turret, and Emperor's Divide comes down, but there is a spell shield, and Skewmon says what? And once again, it is going to be Quad going down.
Quad was going to get away to safety, but that's a tower going to be secured by Bwipo, and so FlyQuest will hold on to the gold lead. When we look at the bottom of our screen, all of the gold lead really is sitting on Bwipo. And so far, in that last fight, he got shut down so quickly. Hans Sama's continuing to ramp up in terms of itemization. Another tower secure.
Okay, will go down as the minions do deal with it. Hans Sama holding Inspired in place as he procs that Blighted Quiver. Starting to do a fair bit of work here as 1.5 items are completed for the Varus as the Dragon was started, but not actually committed to just yet. Exactly, Shockwave pulls Bwipo back. Does have the Dominus to get that extra health, but Caps, he will be able to push away this Renekton, and now without all of that power and money in this fight, it could be difficult here for FlyQuest as G2 still going to be pressured away, and it will be the Dragon going down. Bwipo going to be stopped as well. That back not going to come through. We'll see whether they can get a dent onto this turret, and with the Rift Herald, they will be able to.
Yeah, G2, they have to respect FlyQuest.
Oh no, another one, and this time the Magnustorm comes in. Bwipo has to flash, gets himself out of there. Shelly gets a headache, and will be able to take this one down. Skewmon stands in front of the hook, and Busio has to cleanse, gets himself out of the way. Oh, the Emperor's Divide moves Skewmon away from him, still able to get the kill, but now the curtains have been called. First bullet, second bullet, third going to miss, the fourth one lands, but it's eaten by Lebrov, and he's going to be just fine. G2 limp away.
A crazy back and forth as Masu thing that not enough time because we're starting off the Artican. G2 is just forcing this one.
Yeah, FlyQuest do have vision. They know what's going on, but it is burning down so incredibly quickly. Mundo is very, very good at doing a lot of extra damage to these as Busio not going to quite hit the anchor. As can they get to steal? The answers no. Bwipo taking a fair bit of damage. This Broken Blade is now so dangerous, but Bwipo still able to get that work done with this Dominus, but it's in fact the redemption that helps out. And down goes Quad as well, and it looks like FlyQuest not quite making this one happen as G2 just move forward. Mundo is indeed doing exactly what he pleases as that cleanse, that ain't gonna help you, buddy, as Skewmon does have a lot of paperwork to do, and he's in
the mid tower is gonna fall, and this game is getting out of control as G2 grow the gold lead.
G2 just take over at the Otacon, grabbing it and all of this gold. What a massive, massive swing.
This is pretty amazing. We have to remember as well, this game, you go to top 8.
All the way from base, but let's get back to live.
Yeah, we got another battle here as Broken Blade will find another counter-strike. It only hits onto one, but it's so difficult to kill this. Jax, he just dives on top of Masu. I think he's gone too far, though. Does get the redemption, and what the heck is this? Jax still gets shut down. No full commitment onto any of these fights. Skewmon just standing in that front line. There's the flash forward, and where did he go? Masu just explodes thanks to the shockwave, and now...
And G2 are playing with confidence. It feels like this game is slipping so far away from
finals, and they're doing it with Skewmon on his Mundo. Well, the rest of the team here going at Busio again.
Yeah, looking for a bit of an angle there, but Leap Strike does get Broken Blade over the wall. They will be okay, as Nevermind, Inspired, looking for an angle. Deadly Flourish comes down, another curtain call to come in here as Skewmon flashes himself away. Busio's dead once again, though. The last bullet, not quite enough, but Quad does have the follow-up damage. It's a trade of supports. For now, the flash forward from Inspired. He thinks he's found the angles. Bwipo just flashes on top. Hans is going to fall down for the first time in this game, and now this Crocodile is doing what he wants instead of the Mundo as they escort G2 out of the river.
FlyQuest are fighting back. They flash, they get the kills onto Hans Sama. 2 down though is not enough to rush an early game Baron, so it's just gonna stop at that gold.
Are you sure?
Wait a second, maybe
They've got Quad at full HP. I think they have the damage to force this. G2 only have 3 members alive.
Skewmond is going to come over here as, yeah, if Quad's doing
Caps
damage to
has
this,
TP.
it's going down very, very quickly. And so is Skewmond, as we can see here. He's just a health bar, and this is Nash's and that Leandri's completed. Boostio makes his way back. Broken Blade wants to get in here, but this Baron is going down so incredibly quickly. They have vision, but they have no one in the area, and it's FlyQuest that take the first Baron.
It could still very much go either way. The Baron has bought a lot of time for FlyQuest to hook.
Yeah, hook to come on through there as Boostio starts off the fight. Glacial Prison is good as well to hold down this front line. The last bullet this time is not going to land as we have fights on multiple fronts. The counter-strike to interrupt the teleport as Lebrov will be able to get himself to relative safety. Now it's G2 trying to turn this one around because Bwipo is so much of what allows the line. Cloud Soul could be a big deal for either of these teams, and man, this goes down fast. 3 items now completed here for now with the upper hand as Broken Blade wanting to sneak in once again. Bwipo slices to get out of there, and Quad has to get out as well. Boostio starting off the fight, gets the double knockup, but Skewmond is so tanky. Not tanky enough, this Azir is just going front to back, as now Broken Blade with the counter-strike is going to be able to help take down Bwipo. The hook is going to not land, but the Magnet Storm is gorgeous. Not enough to do all the damage, and Boostio somehow got in there, but look at the Emperor's Divide. Down goes Broken Blade, the curtain call as well to slow down Lebrov. G2 still with some players alive, but these health bars are so low, and FlyQuest come out on top.
And Skewmond goes down without activating his ultimate. He just gets popped into CC. FlyQuest, they turn on Baron.
A second Baron, almost like back-to-back after it spawned at 25 minutes. And FlyQuest get another go with the Rebel Baron power play.
That is absolutely insane. The fact, and FlyQuest turns it into a one fight.
Oh, the timing of that Emperor's Divide was just gorgeous from Quad. As we're right into another team fight as now Bwipo having to use that Q to try and get his health bar back, but Hans Summer's just going to shut him down. The Deadly Flourish as well is trying to walk out, but Broken Blade stays alive. The Emperor's Divide is gigantic, and BB will go down. The Azir is taken as well, and G2 straight out of the replay, straight putting FlyQuest into the death chamber.
Caps goes on a rampage. He finds such a huge shockwave with the help of Lebrov. G2 may well have done it. There's only Inspired left to try and defend the base, but after 3 long years, I think Europe is back at the quarterfinals.
It was looking like it was going to happen again. It was going to look like North America could deny them one more time, but it's the top 8 in the eyes of G2 as they look to take down these Nexus turrets. The